Hey y'all, and welcome back to another garden tour videos. First up are my eggplants. This last week or so, it has been a little bit cooler and it rained quite a bit. By quite a bit, I mean it rained several days during the week. It wasn't a ton of rain. And eggplants just really tend to do better in the cooler weather. Like they do really good in the spring and then they kind of fall off in the summertime and then they come back in the fall. So they kind of had a little growth spurt. And then over here are cucumbers and watermelon. You will notice that there are no squash or zucchini. Those have all been pulled out. I lost the fight to the squash bugs. They killed all of them. It happens every year. So anyways, and then over to our okra. These are doing spectacular. Even the little front plant that was kind of short and withery is kind of bouncing back. Here's our cantaloupe. Some of these vines look a little rough, but overall they're doing great. We've had a steady stream of cantaloupe in our kitchen, which is great because my kids love cantaloupe. So it's like nature's candy. That is my opinion. Anyways, and then here are green beans. There are no beans on these plants. There are hardly any flowers. I don't know what's going on. I'm leaving them just to see what happens. The blister beetles aren't bothering them too much now. I don't know what's going on, but whatever. These are the plum tomatoes. If you can't see, this plant is literally just covered in tomatoes. And then here are our corns. Yeah, these were another fail. Just a lack of pollination, I'm pretty sure. Also the coons. You can see several knocked over plants. I'm pretty sure the coons came over here and got into them and tore a bunch of our plants down. Our bell peppers are looking fantastic, and I've noticed a lot of them are starting to get flowers. There is some peppers on these plants, but not a lot, but the tops of the plants are really starting to get some flowers. So hopefully those will really start producing soon. Like I said, these plants all look really good, and you can really see here where some of my corn has been laid down by some lovely critters. And then there's this one pepper that's weirdly short in comparison to all my other pepper plants, but it still looks healthy. I don't know why it's so short. Yeah, and there are some weeds in here. I do need to come out and weed, but I have not had the chance recently. Also, last night we got a pretty solid rain last night. I would guess we got a couple of inches of rain. I am not 100% sure how much rain, but a couple of inches, I would guess. Then over to our tomatoes. These ones are pretty full. These first three that we're looking at are pink tomatoes. They are my favorite. They have all the flavor of red tomatoes, but they taste sweeter. Anyways, I'm just showing you there are some freaking squash bugs on my tomatoes. They don't hurt it any, but they're over on my tomatoes because there's no more squash in my garden to be eaten. My tomatoes are all very tall and very healthy looking. I would say my pink tomatoes are probably doing the best. They're probably the tallest and the bushiest. If you've watched any of my videos before, I probably mentioned that we only prune the bottom portion of our plants, about the bottom 6 inches, and then we prune all the suckers off on the bottom like foot or so, sometimes a foot and a half depending on how the plant's looking, and then we just let it bush out from there. We really just try to prune the bottom to keep the leaves off the ground to prevent disease. But we cage our tomatoes, and so they get plenty of support, and as long as they're getting solid airflow and there doesn't seem to be any disease issues on the plants, we just let them bush out. I've been doing that for years and years, and I have not had any issues with it. Here is the area where our radishes and carrots were planted. I have not gotten anything back into this piece of ground yet. That is on my to-do list for this coming weekend. Here are cabbages. Some of them look better than others. The ones that we've already picked are creating new little tiny heads of cabbage. Sometimes you can actually get more than one harvest off your plant. It doesn't always work like that. So there are a couple pretty decent little new starts. But yeah, this is our cabbage, and then directly behind it is our broccoli. It really needs to be picked. It's just covered in heads of broccoli. And unless it gets really hot really fast, it should be okay, but I'm gonna pick the garden after I'm done recording this, so it's fine. And then our cauliflower is the next row, and there's not much left on these. I think there's like one, maybe two heads of cauliflower left. One big one for sure. And it's a little bit sunburnt also. But it will taste just fine. Here is the other side of my watermelons. There's probably like, I don't know, a dozen of these basketball sized watermelons in here. They all still have solid stems, so they're not quite ripe enough for me to want to pick them, but they are getting close, very close. This is probably the healthiest watermelon plant I've ever had. I think there are 2 watermelon plants growing, and then these are my jalapenos. I don't remember which one was the like giant jalapeno, which one was like the normal jalapeno. I don't remember, but they do have some peppers on them. I'm the kind of person that just lets the pepper sit on the plant until it's really hot. If I'm growing jalapenos, that's obviously my end goal. However, I do like to plant some for like what am I trying to think of? Like jalapeno poppers. Sometimes I'll come out and pick a bunch of them while they're still kind of young and not super spicy, so that we can get some jalapeno poppers out of them. And these do have some flowers on them, like active flowers. I don't know. I feel like we might have a pollination issue. I don't know. I was talking with one of the other local girls around here, and she has had similar issues, so we'll see what comes of this. And then this is just some of the harvest that I got on this day. I was not planning on picking any cantaloupe, but 3 of these were split, so I went ahead and picked them. This is a pretty decent sized tomato, and then we're getting about 5 cucumbers a day, which is fine. We will eat, cucumbers on a salad or a tomato cucumber salad. So anyways, that is what I have for you today. I hope you guys have an awesome week. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not already. Like this video if you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment down below and let me know how your garden is going. I hope you guys have an awesome week. I already said that, and I'll catch you next time.